Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Don Mafia Live. That is correct. Welcome, guys. As you know, I am live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. EST and 5:15 p.m. EST, bringing you all of the late, great news surrounding your personal favorite football team, as well as your personal favorite league. You have read that title correctly, indeed. As a Sean McDermott detractor, especially last year, for the past couple of years, for someone that even ended up making a video, you could honestly look at the receipts. I have made one before saying it's time to fire Sean McDermott. But you know what? I like to sometimes admit when I am wrong, and I was wrong about this. Maybe I ended up buying into the hype about this guy when it came into that piss poor performance against the Cincinnati Bengals. Maybe I ended up getting really pissed off about the 13 seconds game where he played soft ass zone that allowed Patrick Mahomes to march down the field, send us home. Maybe I was mad at him about last year for a variety of different coaching decisions. And yes, I think that we can all agree that we can still be angry at him in the past. But I will tell you this. This year, I think Sean McDermott has actually been growing from his mistakes. I think that he has been starting to make better decisions. And see, the funny thing is that I will go on ahead and I'll say this, right? I honestly think so. The difference between you being an idiot and you being a genius is purely based off of execution, right? I think one of the few things that we like to remind ourselves is the fake punt from Damar Hamlin last year in the playoffs. Imagine if that were to work. Like, we would be putting him in the same light as Bill Belichick, right? As damn Andy Reid, if somehow that fake punt in the playoffs were to actually come to fruition and we ultimately would have ended up winning that playoff game. But I'll tell you what, I've been noticing some things about him that I'm really liking. I'm noticing when he is aggressive. I am noticing when he is taking chances that I typically didn't see him taking during his first couple of years as a head coach. And I can confidently tell you this, even if, and I mean, I'm going to knock on wood here because I'm not going to put that out into the universe. I think he's our guy. I think he is our guy regardless of what this season ultimately ends up turning out to be. However, at the exact same time, as I stated earlier in my early stream today, that I genuinely believe that this Buffalo Bills team, it is really Super Bowl or bust. And I think a lot of us are going to be like, Dan, well, obviously every single year is Super Bowl and bust, or Super Bowl or bust, one of the two. And I haven't had this mentality before. I haven't, right? Like, I can come up here, I can be rah-rah. Last year I had the greatest story ever told. But in the back of my head, I always said, let's at least do better than we did last year. And last year, I just wanted to make it to the AFC Championship. Ultimately, we know that that did not happen. But based off of what I saw against the Kansas City Chiefs, Sean McDermott's coaching, his coordinators are absolutely looking incredible. Like, there's no doubt about that. Now my expectations have shifted over to we need to win the damn Super Bowl, or otherwise this season is a massive, massive, massive disappointment. That is kind of where I am at so far. Super Bowl win, then apology. Then we'll send over the apology. We have the Flexicon is coming on in. I can agree with that. To the Super Bowl we go, GRV Studio. Shout out to everybody in the chat, guys. 122 of you in here already, 74 of you on YouTube, 47 of you on X. Love hanging out with you guys. Like I said, I'm live twice a day, Monday through Friday, and I love making my shows about you guys, all right? I love having the conversation, have you guys lead it. It's an open-ended conversation with everybody that likes to join me during my live streams on any given day, any given time. Thank you so much for coming in. I love each and every single one of you. Paul Costa is saying Bill Belichick's name would be John Doe if Tom Brady wasn't the New England QB. And so I'm going to tell you what about Bill Belichick, man. I think that he knows that in the back of his head, hence why I think that he's going to be coming back next season. I'm not particularly sure where he is going to go, but I think that he has enough pride where he wants to prove people wrong. We have Luke Pattison. What's up, my guy? How you doing? Dan the man. That's what I'm talking about. Semper Fi Mike. Look at that, man. We have some Marines in the chat, baby. So we have some Marines in the chat, brother. So like I've been telling you before, my brother is a Marine. So the Marines have a special place in my heart. So I definitely appreciate all of you that have served this beautiful country that we call home. Absolutely means the world to us, baby. American heroes in the chat, sitting here talking ball, watching Dan Mitchell yap his ass off about the Buffalo Bills and the apology for him that everyone needs the sign for Sean McDermott. None of the above. First round playoff exit. We have Don 19, definitely Super Bowl. We have Hill 4472. I would love to know what sad ass fan base this fool's a part of. I can only imagine it's the Miami Dolphins, those stank ass fish fans in here having the gall to come in here and spread your negativity and embarrassment. Well, I got news for you, my friend. We are not an incompetent ran organization like them sorry-ass Dolphins, my friend. So don't you dare put my damn team in your mouth until you get your own ship in order, my friend. You would do some dirty, filthy things. You would film yourself doing some filthy things for Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott to be running your organization, my friend. Don't even attempt to deny it. Brent, what is going on, man? Hope all is well. Is McDermott made the right choice going forward on fourth down, regardless of the outcome? Can't put it on Bass. Put the ball in the hands of your best player. I entirely agree. And the thing is that I keep on asking myself this question. I'm like, what would the narrative be around Sean McDermott right now if Josh Allen were to inevitably, or if he were to be stuffed at 4-2, right? Hence why I'm going to continue to say the difference between being an idiot and being a genius is oftentimes completely out of your control. It is all about execution. What happens there? He rolled the dice. He was a gambling man, and luck was in his favor. That he just so happens to have a dog of a damn quarterback that was going to score no matter damn what. And I'm glad he finally realized that. I'm glad he didn't take the little pussy route. I didn't want him to take the pussy route, and by God, he did not. If Matt Milano is at least at 75% as good as he was, our defense will be so dominant. I'll tell you what, our pass coverage will improve immediately. Immediately, the second that Matt Milano comes back onto this team. Say goodbye to Dorian Williams, unfortunately, though. I'm still suspect. I will apologize if we win the AFC chip. Will Collis, 31. He's still hurt. Listen, man, I totally understand that. This right here is me just planting the seeds. It's planting the seeds of an ultimate Sean McDermott apology. I won't apologize until we get a Super Bowl and a win. We have Paul Costa, Superman Allen versus Jared Goff in the Super Bowl. It has to be Superman Allen winning it. Enjoying the journey, Buffalo fans. So I'm not sure if you guys ended up seeing it, but Nick Wright, actually, from FS1, and I understand that a lot of Bills Mafia is not the biggest fan of Nick Wright, but he said this about Jared Goff, and you guys go on ahead and you tell me if you agree. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I think Nick Wright went out there and he completely laid out a diss on Jared Goff. He called Jared Goff a civilian, right? He said that he was a civilian quarterback, and that he's not going to be facing superhero quarterbacks like the ones that they have in the AFC. Like Patrick Mahomes, like Josh Allen, like Lamar Jackson, like Joe Burrow. Like those guys are superhero quarterbacks. And Jared Goff is just that guy that clocks into the best company on the face of the planet, right? That's what Nick Wright had to say at the end of the day. I think when it comes down into it, when we play the Detroit Lions, I think that's the one advantage that we do have, is that we do have a superhero quarterback at the end of the day. But it's still a couple of weeks away. As many of you guys know, I have all the respect in the world for the Detroit Lions. I'm going to continue to glaze them until we end up playing them on week 15 in Detroit, and perhaps even a rematch in the Super Bowl in New Orleans, baby. This is a what have you done for me lately league, and we have to admit, McDermott has made some head-scratching decisions in the past. He's not out of the woods yet, but he's getting there. And listen, I 100% agree with you. All right, listen, here's the thing. Because I'm going to throw myself under the bus. Because you know why? Obviously, I'm a troll on the internet. So sometimes nobody is safe. Nobody is safe from me trolling, including myself. I'm going to troll myself, right? Because I ended up throwing out a knee-jerk reaction. Who here was pounding their damn table, pissed off that Sean McDermott ended up challenging that catch on Sunday night? And I know that you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. So the one from DeAndre Hopkins, where everyone was just like, Sean, what the hell are you doing? Why would you throw a challenge flag like that? Well, thanks to my good friend Kevin, he came in and he told me, Dan, remember, Sean is no longer pulling the trigger on those. We ended up hiring a former NFL referee to be on staff that is up in the booth, and he is the one that calls down to Sean McDermott to throw the challenge flag. It is not entirely up to Sean. It is exclusively up to the referee, former referee that we ended up signing on the roster by itself. So the second that I learned that information, I was just like, okay, damn. Like, there goes my knee-jerk reactions right there. It wasn't Sean. And I'll tell you what, man, what he ended up doing was that this dude showed some balls, went for it, solid play calling, went for it at 4th and 2. It is a what have you done for me lately league. I agree with Enigma in the chat. I certainly do. But we're going to have to see. Nick Wright had the Bears going to the Super Bowl. Hey, absolutely. He is the product of the system. Zach Frey is coming in. We got San Francisco first. Ravens Life 716. Until they beat y'all in the playoffs, nothing new here. Imagine not beating the Kansas City Chiefs. Imagine not beating the Kansas City Chiefs. Like this dude that lives in Buffalo, that's a Baltimore Ravens fan. How sad. How sad. I really hope we run into you in the playoffs again because I want to punch your team in the mouth, metaphorically. Again, I want to send your ass home in the playoffs again. You fraudulent Baltimore Ravens fan. I'm just kidding, Ravens Life 716. You annoy the hell out of me, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. I'm glad that you're in here. What are your thoughts on our DBs? I bought Douglas jersey before the season, hoping he'd have a few interceptions by this point in the season, overdue for a big game. Just because a DB is not getting interceptions doesn't necessarily mean that he's not doing his job effectively. I think Rasul Douglas has been doing his thing. Massive upgrade from Kyer Elam. So we can be, completely factual on that. But the true star, right? Like, say, for example, Beast, that I was you and I could hop into a time machine when I was deciding on what jersey I wanted to buy, I would have went with Christian Benford. I totally would have went with Christian Benford at the end of the day because he is not only the best corner that we have on this team. And yes, I know this is honestly a very difficult or like a heavy debate because I honestly think that he's better than Taron Johnson, although that they honestly play two different positions. Benford's a dog, bro. Like Christian Benford is a top 5 corner in this league. I could maybe even argue that he's top 3 at this point. He's really, really stepping up. He's locked down. But picks aren't necessarily the entire story when we talk about this. Dan, what are your thoughts on the Bills versus the Lions? Zeno Productions, man. Well, let me tell you what, my friend. This is going to be a Super Bowl preview. It's going to be a Super Bowl preview. That is my prediction. However, it's very difficult for me to go on ahead and say, hey, you know what? This is what I expect for this game that is happening in maybe about a month, right? Because we have no idea what that roster in Detroit is going to look like when we go up there. Like, we have no idea what this Buffalo Bills roster is going to look like when we go up to Detroit. Ideally, we would like to have both teams fully healthy, but this is the NFL. We have no idea. For all we know, both teams could be missing out on some 2 very significant players. It's just how it is. So let's hope for the best. Say, for example, that this Buffalo Bills team were to be facing the Detroit Lions this week and we were not on a bye. And I knew that we were getting Keon Coleman back, and I knew that we were getting Matt Milano back, and I knew that we were getting a fully healthy Amari Cooper, and I knew that we were getting a fully healthy Spencer Brown, then I certainly like our chances. But it's just too soon to say. It is too soon to say right now. I am just going to be focusing on the San Francisco 49ers for the next couple of weeks. Let's go from there. We have Luis is coming in. Bears messed up. Any other QB would be better. Tua part 2. So I wouldn't necessarily say that, man. Listen, Matt Eberflus is an absolute moron. He is the worst coach in the NFL. He has no idea what he is doing. He is ruining Caleb's production, his development. Maybe there's a chance that he could be saved if Chicago makes the right decision on who the next head coach is of that organization. He is just a product, my friend, of a poorly coached organization. Sorry that I'm late. It's okay, man. It's okay. I think it's going to be a great game. I totally agree. Barrel is coming in. Steelers beat them with freaking field goals. LMAO. We have Joe Rist. Bills fans are always calling their QB daddy. Y'all have issues. You would love to call your QB daddy, fool. You would love to call your QB daddy Joe Rist. Call me Mr. Rist from now on. As many of you guys know, I told Joe Rist that if he continues to troll in my chat, that I am going to marry his mother, become his stepfather, ship him off to boarding school, and I'm going to turn his room into a Buffalo Bills man cave. So call me Mr. Wrist for the remainder of this stream. Every time we see Mr. Joey or little Joey come in here and attempt to rain on our parade, because I will no longer allow it, especially from the bottom feeders of the AFC East. I'm trying to enjoy my penthouse in the AFC East right now in the AFC East Tower, and you peasants that are Miami Dolphins fans are sitting here trying to rain on my damn parade. You are being too loud, my friend. I will not allow any negative discussions or phrases about the Buffalo Bills, especially from Dolphins fans. Learn your damn role, Joe Rist. Signed sincerely, your stepdad. Jared Goff versus the Bills pass rush or Josh Allen versus Lions pass rush. Everything on the line. Who are you picking? Goff versus the Bills pass rush or Josh Allen versus the Lions pass rush? I'm probably going to pick Josh Allen just because he has the opportunity. He has the opportunity of moving through, of being able to extend plays with his leg. Congratulations to the Ravens for beating us when the team wasn't fully healthy. Let's clap. Let's clap. We have Dan Wrists. Absolutely. Absolutely. More like a pride parade in here. Someone's projecting. Listen, bro, it's okay if you're gay, all right? It's beautiful. Bo C, Dolphins plebs. How you doing, man? Sean McDermott has a record 87-49 in his career as a head coach, but y'all Bills fans want him fired. Surprisingly enough, my friend, I saw a Ravens fan in my chat earlier saying that they wanted Harbaugh fired. I've seen Steelers fans in the past say that they wanted Pittsburgh Steelers Mike Tomlin fired. It's not just us, folks. It is not just us. We're going to have to see. We're just going to have to see. We have Beast E55. Josh Allen got them Lambo feeties. We do, baby. We do, man. It is what it is. Lions have no pass rush since Aiden Hutchinson has been out. But so then again, so they did add Zadarius Smith. And I would say, although that is certainly an upgrade from what they were, I suppose, dealing with in attempting to replace Aiden Hutchinson prior to his injury, it's nice. I do like it. Win the Super Bowl, White Kong. Beat Mahomes, ask Josh. You better. Come on, Josh. McDermott, let White Kong loose. Interesting. Is Mr. Wrist, what record do you think Bills will end up? We have Joe Wrist in here saying, Dan, I think your chat would be better at roasting. Don't worry, I'm training each and every single one of them. I am training each and every single one of them, my friend. Dante Jenkins, what's up, Sal? Sal, what's going on? Fun fact, Ravens are 2-4 when they have more pass attempts than rush attempts in a game. That's an interesting stat. We can go from there. Joe missed. Get back to the tailgate. Let me see. Charles is coming in. Bills are coming back from the bye, healthy and dangerous. Shout out to my guy who made the Thor hammer, the Buffalo Bills edition. I'm so jealous of that thing. You have absolutely no idea. But yeah, man, listen, I mean, like we said, more than likely Matt Milano will be back by the San Francisco 49ers game. I think he'll be on a pitch count. I think it's going to be half Dorian Williams, half him. But then after the San Francisco 49ers game, I don't think that we'll see much of Dorian Williams. I mean, really for the remainder of the season. Maybe next year would be sick, but we will welcome back Matt Milano with open arms. What impact do you think Matt Milano will have on our run game? So one thing I will say, as far as pass protection is concerned, massive improvement in coverage. I would say as far as impact on the run game, slight improvement, because Williams is actually really good. He's leading the team in tackles right now. He's not as bad as you think. Dan, I am the coolest. Let me get the Keon Coleman jersey. I think, all right, listen, if y'all have no idea what I'm talking about, okay? So I'm doing some signed memorabilia giveaways this year. I have been giving away a bunch of different things all season. And this week is the signed Keon Coleman jersey. All right, folks, I am going to be giving this away or announcing the winner. I would say closer to the San Francisco 49ers live play-by-play reaction, so we have some time. But say, for example, that you want, so to go on ahead and join these competitions, have to be a subscriber to this YouTube channel. That is rule number one, baby. So make that happen if you want to be a part of this. Did you hear that A-Rod will most likely not be QB1 for the Jets in 2025? It would be the smartest thing that they could potentially do. Dan, my top AFC teams are Bills, Chiefs, Chargers, Steelers, and Ravens. For NFC are Lions, Eagles, Packers, Vikings, and the Commanders. Lions, Eagles, Packers, Vikings, and the Commanders. I'll tell you what, I don't hate that list. I really don't hate that list whatsoever. Bills, Chiefs, Chargers, Steelers, Ravens. Like that. Lions, Eagles, Packers, Vikings, and the Commanders. I like that too. In fact, I'll be honest with you, I don't hate it whatsoever. Joe, Miami Dolphins will have to win a playoff game first to even be able to come up against the 1-seed Bills, which is impossible because they will never make the playoffs. BC, I still feel like he mismanaged the playoff game last year. He certainly did, right? But then again, really where I'm coming from with this Sean McDermott topic, my friend, is that I feel like he's showing signs of improvement, right? Like the Sean McDermott of old probably would have sent Tyler Bass out there just to go up 6 against Kansas City. But instead, he put his rock-solid balls on the table and said, you know what, Josh Allen, go make a highlight reel. Make that video reel that they're going to be playing on loop when they announce your name as the NFL's MVP and win this game for us. I like seeing improvement. I like seeing people learning from their mistakes, and I feel like that game against the Kansas City Chiefs suggested that. And I'm absolutely very thrilled about it. But anyway, let's see what's going on with the world of the Bills, bro. Let's see what's going on with the world of the Bills. We're going to look through a Bills lists of a bunch of beat reporters to see what they're talking about. Although that they hate me is what it is, folks. I love you guys, regardless. You can hate me all you want. I love you. Imagine being the Dolphins or Jets with all the talent and still not sniffing 500 on the season at that point. Sometimes I suppose people just have their issues, man. Let me see. BC is saying all about going up 2 possessions. They iced it. They did. Nail and coffin, belt to ass. It was a beautiful day. Dan, the Bills signed some guy about a month ago, supposed to be good at stopping the run. I don't remember his name, though. So I know that we signed Jordan Phillips, and I know that we signed Quentin Jefferson within the interior. I suppose both of them are pretty solid, but they're more like plug and play, like rotational defensive linemen. I think you might be talking about one of those two, but I think that they were signed exclusively for familiarity of the overall roster. We have Caleb. I'm just now finding out that we drafted Bernard as a receiver. Luis, Josh is one of the all-time great players in NFL history. He's better than Pat. That is a hot take if I have seen one or not. One guy I haven't heard mentioned on the win this past Sunday was Cam Lewis. He definitely showed up in the end with a huge tackle for a loss on the Chiefs' last drive and a big pass breakup. So I'll tell you what, he was not mentioned. He has not been mentioned. And I'll be honest with you, until you brought it up, my friend, I completely forgot. Cam Lewis has been interesting, right? Like he's had a couple of splash plays, but for the most part, he's been an absolute liability for this team. But I'm glad that he stepped up when we needed him to. Maybe as the competition tends to level up a tad, maybe he will continue to do that. We have William is coming in. Didn't get the noti on the stream being live. My guy from Sweden. It's got to be late over there, but my guy's out here. He's rocking with us. We're talking a little ball, and I appreciate you for tuning in. We have Mike Green saying, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, share the channel with your Mafia friends, and get them to join. Well, thank you so much, Mike. That is my guy, folks. I do want to remind everybody our goal is 50,000 subscribers by the end of the regular season. So if you haven't already, certainly subscribe, man. Let's go on ahead and make this work. I saw your title on the stream. I'm not judging coach until we actually get results of the playoffs. This isn't the first time we beat Kansas City in the regular season. I mean, listen, I totally empathize with that, right? Because I suppose to a degree, I am still pretty hurt by some of the coaching gaffes that we have witnessed Sean make particularly when we were facing the Kansas City Chiefs. But I think really like what I'm molding this video about is that I have seen improvement. And I think him going 4th and 2 that iced the game against Kansas City went on ahead and showed something like, hey, maybe Sean McDermott, maybe this guy is learning from his mistakes, right? Because I honestly think the Sean McDermott of old would have sent Tyler Bass out there exclusively just to go up by 6 points back when it was 4th and 2. I'm just saying I'm seeing some signs. And I really hope that he maintains this throughout the regular season and then also within the playoffs. We have seen, yes, most definitely, but he's still in the practice squad, and we had him during training camp. Samuel finally came alive. Glad we got some of our money's worth. I mean, listen, bro, he at least earned like $300,000 of his $27 million contract. Super glad that that came in. Dan the man. Absolutely, my boy. I love that. What's better, 50K cash / Bitcoin or 50K subscribers? The second, right? 50K cash Bitcoin. I mean, I'd probably go Bitcoin, to be honest with you. Keep calling another man daddy. Absolute beta clowns. Absolute beta clowns. Bro, you are the furthest thing from an alpha or a beta, bro. You are a zeta. You are a zeta, bro. The Z level of the masculinity chart, my guy, Joe Wrists. Don't you disrespect my audience, Joe Wrists. How dare you, bro? Nobody's perfect. I mean, I am, but others are not. We have Kevin Welch is coming in. Keon Coleman comeback is actually scary. If he continues to do his thing, he can. I think the Chiefs drop 2 more games. They can't keep beating teams by thin margins. It is not sustainable. So I'll tell you what. So I have the Kansas City Chiefs actually losing to the Chargers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's what I see on their overall schedule when it comes into it. Cam Lewis was flying all over the field, bro. He's a dog. Everyone is sleeping on their depth. We have Rich. Who is better, Lions or Bills? We are going to get that answer in just a couple of weeks. Joe, don't talk like that in your Daddy Dan's chat like that. Absolutely, young man. You're about to be grounded. I'm going to take away your Nintendo Switch, brother. No V-Bucks for you. No V-Bucks for you, little man. All right? Don't make me take away your PS5, young man. Okay? Hot Fuzz. So you say that we would have went for Bass on 4th and 2 formally, but with the inconsistencies of Bass lately, I'm betting he's slowly losing faith. Maybe. But then again, listen, I feel like that extra point, and by the way, so am I crazy? I think that extra point was actually good. Like, I watched the replay. Yes, it was very high up by the upright, but I think that extra point may have been good. Regardless, obviously it was off target, and you don't want that shit to be anywhere outside right down the middle, especially from the extra point mark. But funny enough with Tyler Bass, when it comes to like his stats historically, he's locked down in these months, specifically in November and December. And Bass is doing a hell of a lot better than a lot of kickers, right? Like he's doing better than Evan McPherson. He's doing better than Justin Tucker. A lot of NFL kickers are suffering from the yips this year. I really don't. Maybe you have a point, though, Hot Fuzz. You might have a point. But I'm hoping that his decision was more based off of the fact that I need to learn from my mistakes and actually take the shot here. I can't wait to see the 49ers game in 2 weeks. It's going to be a fun one when we are fully healthy. So I certainly don't want to jinx us, but I just have a feeling that we're about to smoke the 49ers, bro. I just have a feeling that we're about to go out there and punch the 49ers in the mouth, bro. I just have that gut feeling. And granted, obviously, I do want to see them play this upcoming week. But I'm not scared of the 49ers. I'm not particularly scared of the 49ers. I think that our team matches up way better against them. Mother effing Dan the man. We are officially feared in the NFL by every damn team, and it's not enough. Damn it, we got to get this trophy. Raise it up through the roof, my friend. All we want is the Lombardi in Buffalo. And the new motto is everybody eats. And the offense eats and the defense eats. Sitting back, waiting for Mahomes to deliver lunch isn't eating. McDermott is bought in, and he's walking bow-legged now with his big old cock. With his big old dick. He's out there, man. He's learned from his mistakes, and he's ready to march this team into the playoffs. Let's make it happen. 157 people in here. Smash that like button for our Bills family member, y'all. Listen, guys. Listen. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love each and every single one of you. You are awesome. Philip is coming in. What's good, Dan? And you think that Milano comes back after the bye week. So I'm going to tell you what. I am like 95%. Actually, I lied. I am 99.99999% convinced that Matt Milano will be back on the 1st of December when we just so happen to be playing the San Francisco 49ers. His 21-day practice window ends on the 4th. It makes no sense for us to wait until after the fact. He will be activated. Perhaps I could see something like where he's on a pitch count. But yes, I think that we will get our first taste of Matt Milano against the San Francisco 49ers. It just makes sense. I haven't had this feeling since the Super Bowl years, cautiously optimistic. And listen, I've been saying this for a minute, right? I like that win last Sunday felt a lot different. It felt a hell of a lot different to me, especially compared to last year, right? So we didn't even play our best game, and we ended up getting saved by a penalty. So when they ended up doing that lateral pass right down to Travis Kelce, they got called back because Kadarius Toney was offsides. Like, this win just felt different. And I feel like I have to agree with you. Our defense was scary, but with Milano coming back, it's going to be even scarier. I'll tell you what, man, you better hide your kids right now because we are coming. Bills have the best chance to beat the Lions, in my opinion, and I can't wait for that answer on December 15th. I'm getting the full Buffalo Bills leg sleeve tattoo when we win the Super Bowl. Speak it into existence, baby. I will join you. I will get it too. So Milano was snubbed hard before his back-to-back injuries. He deserved to be a Pro Bowler. We have Torch. What are your thoughts on Buffalo Joe? I went to high school with him in Lancaster, and I love the guy. So happy he is in the league. Absolute hell of a story. With his limited opportunities, he has been doing very well. Solid in pass coverage, surprisingly enough. I was concerned about his pass coverage, but he's been doing well with, of course, so the limited opportunities that he has been. So happy that a local guy was able to make this overall team, man. Solid stuff. And I'm so happy that he is on the roster. Lions to me is the Dolphins on steroids. Oh my God. Richard Forbes, it's been his issue since the beginning. Connor Hinks, I think that the Buffalo Bills are going to be playing the Detroit Lions in the Super Bowl. Let's go, Buffalo. I feel like that's the Super Bowl that America wants to see. Make no mistake. W. I will also be getting a tattoo if the Bills win the Super Bowl. Rich is saying, Torch, what year did you graduate? Look at that, boys. People give McDermott flack, and the last Bills coach to take us to consecutive playoff games is Marv Levy. We have Dwight rolling on in. Dan, what McDermott tattoo you getting if the Bills win the Super Bowl? So I'll be honest with you, man. Fun fact about me, I don't have any tattoos. It's not that I'm against tattoos, but I've just never gotten one, right? I'm not sure. So if I would get one, I did bet TD a couple of years ago that if the Dolphins were to win the AFC East, then I would have gotten a Dolphins tattoo on my ass. Thank God that didn't come to fruition because that would have been absolutely terrible. But here we are. Tyler H. rolling in. When will it be our turn to hoist the Lombardi? We have to watch team after team do it. Just get one. Hell, why can't we get a couple of Lombardis? Listen, why not us, right? That is our question. All I need. All right, listen. This is the key for the Buffalo Bills to reach the promised land. Here it is. Ready? Wait for it. Stay healthy. For the love of God. I wouldn't even say that we need to stay 100% healthy on the offensive side of the ball. As long as Josh Allen is healthy and we have like a couple of pieces here and there, and the way that Joe Brady has been calling this offense, he's 15-3 since he's been offensive coordinator. Let that sink in. Snack on that for a second. Joe Brady's 15-3 since he's taken over as an offensive coordinator. He's averaging like high 20s per game. He is an absolute genius. He's solid at what he does, right? The key for us is for us to stay almost perfectly healthy on the defensive side of the ball. Almost perfectly healthy. Because say, for example, that Benford is out. Say, for example, that Taron Johnson is out. Or even Rasul Douglas is out. Or say Bernard is out, for example. It is so important for us that our 3 starting corners and our linebackers are at a full bill of health. If we want to win the Super Bowl this year, if we want to truly go through the playoffs, go to New Orleans, win the Super Bowl, we better sit here and hope and pray to whatever deity you worship that we can stay healthy, specifically in the cornerback room and the linebacker room. If there are any detrimental injuries to our linebacker core and or our cornerback core, you will see my entire demeanor change once the playoffs hit. If, for example, we stay healthy, then I'm very confident. That's my answer. That's my answer, man. We have Beast saying, Joe Rist and Dan set the stakes. Race for the next Super Bowl W. Loser gets team's logo tatted on their butt. Well, first off, my stepson Joe Rist is not old enough to get a tattoo, so I would need to sign off on that. But I will sign off on it. All right, because obviously I am now his stepfather, so I will give him my blessing on getting a Bills tattoo. How excited were you for this week's game? Oh my God, you have no idea, Bills Mafia, Jonathan. Still baffled why we spent a first-round pick on Kincaid when Knox still looks like he's a number 1. It really feels like we are not utilizing a 2 tight end set enough. I know Kincaid was gone last game. So here's my theory, right? I think Ken Dorsey, when he was OC for the first half of last year, he tried shoving 12-men personnel down our throat. And he sucked at it. He was very bad at it, right? So I'm almost curious if Joe Brady has been timid of trying to re-implement it more on a consistent basis. We are very good statistically on 12-men personnel this year. In fact, last time I checked, I think EPA were number 1 in the league. Number 1, number 2, number 3. We're top 3. I like the things that we've been seeing from Dalton Kincaid. I'm not giving up on Dalton Kincaid. He runs beautiful routes. He's a better route runner than Dawson Knox, right? So he gets open more than Dawson Knox. But hopefully when he comes back that we can unleash him, and then maybe Joe Brady can go on ahead and start implementing more 12-man. But I think with Ken Dorsey's obsession of running 12-man personnel, I think that was largely why he lost his job. He was trying to force it, and it just didn't work out. Dan, Josh Allen needs 8 more rushing touchdowns to pass Thurman Thomas and be number 1 all-time rushing TD leader. Do you think that day should be Josh Allen Day? Yes, most definitely. Dan deserves some more likes, guys. Smash that like button, folks. Another year winning in the regular season, another year losing in the playoffs. Risley Bear, I'm pretty sure you're a Buffalo Bills fan, so I'm going to speak to you as like a concerned friend, all right? Because my goal right now is not to shame you. My goal is to make you leave this stream ready to run through a wall. Like, I'm here to be your hype man right now, Risley Bear, and I really hope that you leave this being like, damn, I'm so glad I tuned into Dan Mitchell's stream, okay? This win against the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday felt a hell of a lot different from the wins in the regular season in the past. Because do not let the box score fool you. This game against the Kansas City Chiefs, while we did not have Keon Coleman. We did not have Dalton Kincaid. Still had a somewhat banged up Amari Cooper, although that he ended up making 2 incredible catches, one of which was poetic justice because it was the exact same catch that Stephon Diggs dropped during the playoffs last year. I think the reason why we always ended up having an issue with Kansas City in the playoffs was largely because this Buffalo Bills team put everything out on the field. Like they put everything out on the field, and Andy Reid was able to adjust because he saw everything, right? This year, we didn't have a lot of key pieces to this team. So let's say, for example, that like we stay relatively healthy. We have Keon out there. We have a fully healthy Amari Cooper. We have Dalton Kincaid out there, right? Have Spencer Brown back. We have Milano back. We weren't a complete enough team, in my opinion, for Andy Reid to really be able to have a competitive advantage against us when we see them in the playoffs again. So that's something that I feel like you should feel a bit better about, is the fact that we weren't even at full strength. And then also on top of that, and shout out to Kevin for pointing this out as well, this Buffalo Bills team ran man coverage, predominantly man coverage against Kansas City. We never do that. We absolutely never do that. I made the mistake of saying, look at Andy Reid. He's going out there. He's trying to shove Xavier Worthy in our face. It wasn't some petty bullshit. The reason he was doing that was just because that was the only way that he could beat man coverage for what the Buffalo Bills were doing to all of their receivers. So Reid has no idea what this team is going to throw out there if and when we end up facing each other again. Hence why I'm feeling a hell of a lot more confident for round 2 because of all the pieces that we were missing. Like we, with all of that missing personnel, and ideally say that all of them are coming back, I honestly think that this playing field is about as level as it possibly could be. So that's why I feel a little bit better. Like, that's why I hate like that tired expression. It's just like, oh, like this team, so-and-so, like, so they always beat the Chiefs in the regular season and they always lose to them in the playoffs, right? That's why I'm kind of convinced right now that it's not the same. Basic game plan works. KISS. Dan, and did you see that Gabe Davis is out for the season? I did see that Gabe Davis was out for the season. It's wild stuff, right? It's definitely wild stuff because a lot of Bills Mafia was really hoping that we could have brought back Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. And I'm not saying that they would have suffered the exact same injury if they were on this squad, but damn, hindsight's 2020, right? Damn, hindsight is 2020. Imagine if we did bring them both back and we didn't have a need for Amari Cooper or we didn't have a need sort of draft Coleman as early as we did, right? It's funny. Sort of like how things like make a hell of a lot more sense. In fact, another quote, snack on this quote, something that resonated with me in a long time. It is an It is an ironic tragedy that we live life moving forward, but it only makes sense in reverse. Snack on that. Snack on that for a second. Use that, and the next time that you're trying to impress a date, right? Like she'd be sitting back over there sipping wine, be like, oh my God, that guy's so deep. And so I'm about to let him get deep in me. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, ladies. Okay. I'm just kidding. But yeah, dude, snack on that shit for a second. Anyway, we drafted him and he didn't cost too much. Sandman is coming in saying Diggs can't get separation, but runs his mouth too much. Coop, way better than Stephon Diggs. Listen, I love that Amari Cooper goes out there and he's just all business. He's just all business, dude. This is how it is. Dan, and do you think the Bills will still use Curtis Samuel like they did against even after Keon gets back? So to be honest with you, no. I think that Curtis Samuel performance was very similar to that a couple of years ago where Isaiah McKenzie went off against the New England Patriots a couple of years ago. I genuinely believe that we witnessed the exact same kind of game right there. I'd be happy, but it is what it is. Michael Soto, what's up, man? How you doing? Dan the man, home, sick as a dog with strep. Feel better, my guy. That absolutely blows. but won't stop me from feeling great about the W. Only fear I have on D is being able to stop a more top tier runner. Hope they get and stay healthy. Okay, so I'll tell you what, right? I really think out of all the games that the Buffalo Bills have played this year, that there was maybe only one game where I was like, okay, this run defense absolutely sucks. And it was against the Baltimore Ravens, obviously, right? Like, what team is going to succeed when Derrick Henry is taking 20 plus carries per game? Not many, right? Unless, of course, that you were able to punch it out like the Pittsburgh Steelers were miraculously able to do so after 500 attempts from that massive running back, right? Yes, we've had a couple of games where some running backs have gotten theirs, right? But if you look at the box score and if you look at all of the stats broken down specifically, you'll notice that the vast majority of them were in the first half of the game. But in the second half, we saw them be held to practically nothing, right? Like we saw that with Jonathan Taylor, right? We saw that with Kenneth Walker III against the Seattle Seahawks. This overall theory of Sean McDermott allows something to happen from a defensive side of things because he prioritizes everything else certainly carries some weight, right? For example, with the Miami Dolphins, when they were running all over us, like Sean McDermott's number one priority was to be able to completely eliminate Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle on the perimeter. He knew that that was going to kill us, right? So he said, all right, listen, yeah, you run the football against us as much as you want. We are just going to make sure that we take away Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle because I don't care how good of a defensive coordinator you are. You can't take away everything. So you have to pick your poison. I think a lot of the games, with the exception of the Derrick Henry game, I honestly think that Sean McDermott and Bobby Babbage looked at it and said, all right, listen, we're going to pick our poison, but we are going to make sure that we shut down this specific element away. And we're going to rely on this team who is number one in turnover differential to hopefully be able to turn the field when we need them to the most. So as far as the run defense, yes, I think that it's going to improve once Matt Milano comes back. But really, at the end of the day, man, I really don't think that this run defense is as bad, like, as people say that it is. It's more so that, like, we're picking our poison and we're prioritizing what we want to shut down because we can't shut down everything, right? It's nearly impossible. Like, hence why Xavier Worthy was out there absolutely cooking us all game, right? Like, dude was out there cooking us all game, especially in the first half, because we said, all right, listen, like, we're going to commit to the run, and we are also going to run man coverage on all of their wide receivers and tight ends. Xavier Worthy is going to kill man coverage, but let's rely on him to make a rookie mistake. And what happened? He ended up stepping out of bounds, made a rookie mistake. And was he even targeted again? I don't think he was targeted again after that, which makes it even crazier. Who do the NFL Josh Allen the Josh Allen experience? Why do the NFL Josh Allen the Josh Allen experience? I don't know, man. Let's be happy we are Bills fans. Absolutely. Joe Rist, that's what the Dolphins do with tight ends. Oh, Joe, what's up, man? We have Mike. Worthy only had one good first half and was shut down for the rest of the game. Absolutely. I have been a Bills fan since 1976. And besides the early 90s Super Bowl Bills teams, this is the most cohesive Bills team I have ever seen. And you know what? Granted, so I was born in 1991. All right. And I know, chill with the unk comments, folks. Chill with the unk comments that I know that are coming. But I was born in 91. So as far as those 90s Bills teams, I genuinely did not sort of have the like luxury of being able to witness, because so your boy was an infant, and I feel like my only priority was clearly what flavor of Gerber baby food I was going to be having that evening, and then what time my favorite show like was on. So like I was very largely a drought kid, right? Like I just grew up watching the quarterback carousels of Trent Edwards, Ryan Fitzpatrick, EJ Manuel, Kyle Orton that one year, right? Tyrod Taylor, the whole nine, right? So it's hard for me to speak on that 90s team as far as my own take from it, because I didn't have the cognitive capacity of being able to understand it. But what I can tell you, based off of everything that I have witnessed as a Bills fan, and I got eviscerated for saying this a few weeks back, and I think people are finally starting to catch on, because some people are still convinced that 2020 roster was the best one that we had. No, it's this one. It's this one. This Bills roster is the best roster that we have had since 2024. In my life, best roster this Buffalo Bills team has ever had, my friends. You ain't no unk. Thank you, bro. Thank you, man. I agree. Charles Patterson, I am 71, and this team just might do it. See, I love hearing from people that experience those 90s teams. I love hearing that. That makes me feel even more hype. That makes me feel absolutely incredible. Shout out to Beryl in the chat. Thank you, Big Baller Bean, indeed. Dolphins won the Super Bowls when there was 3 channels on television. Maya is rolling on in saying, I am confident that Allen will win MVP this year. Normally, they ignore him for Lamar Jackson because of Josh's picks, but this year he's only had 5, so that will help. He's certainly been ramping up those numbers, and I'm genuinely hoping that he can chill on those. Shout out to my boy Sonny. Thank you, Sonny. I appreciate that, man. I'll own it. 76. Michael Soto, 76 years old in the chat. What's up, man? What's up, brother? How you doing, man? Look at that. Look at that. 91. Joe Riss, 91. Stop lying, son. I'm just kidding, Joe Riss. What's up? TD be hating on the Bills because they ain't us and stuck with that bum to us. So I will tell you what about TD Finstock. He's turning around. I think he's low-key a Bills fan so far. So, born in 76. Michael Soto. My guy. My guy. My guy. My bad, bro. Very impressed with how this defense is rebuilt. Replacing aging stars with smart draft picks in the lower rounds. It's absolutely unbelievable. So I want to add something even more that I think that we should also appreciate. This team's ability to allow these younger players to take the second and third year step that they do is absolutely nuts. It is absolutely crazy. Who remembers when we heard that Edmonds was being sent off to Chicago, okay? And we had Terrell Bernard taking over as middle linebacker. You go back and you just search tweets from that time period, and people were sitting there being like, oh man, I really don't know what to think about this. We should be looking at this guy or that guy or this guy or this guy in free agency, make a trade. Then we go out there and we're like, holy shit, this dude can play. Same thing with Christian Benford, right? 6th-round pick. Wins the job over Kyer Elam. What the hell are we talking about? Crazy ass stuff, man. We have T. Higgins to the Bills. Wow. My guy, Dan. And do you want Josh Allen and to win MVP, even though only 11 out of 58 quarterbacks that won MVP also won the Super Bowl? I hope not. Bills defense is young. Sal is coming in. Yeah, Joe. So the clue is that the Chiefs aren't winning, less along making the Super Bowl. Not hard. TD needs, wow. Okay, nice. I think that's a medication for delusion. It is, wow. Dude, I actually like that. And so I feel like that I actually might release some merchandise right in the Roundtable Sports shop. It's it's delusion medication, folks, from Hot Fuzz 95. Look at that, baby. Okay, have Bills fans or Lions fans endured more misery? I think it's pretty damn close. So Bernard is probably my favorite player. Great leader too. Guy flies around. So I'll tell you what, my favorite player on the team, so of course outside of Josh Allen's probably Benford. That's my dude. That is my dude. Okay, we have Charles Ryan Fitzpatrick is Bills Mafia through and through. He always will be. All right, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of Dom Mafia Live. Folks, as you know, I am live twice a day, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. EST and 5:15 p.m. EST. So certainly do me a favor, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you have not already, I see someone in here saying Nathan Peterman. Relax, bro. Sincerely enjoy rocking it with you guys on a daily basis. I feel like I'm just talking football with my friends. Like, it's super cool experience. So I really appreciate you guys tuning on in. Tomorrow, we're going to be unpacking the MVP conversation. If Josh Allen truly is that guy, that is going to be the 11 a.m. stream, 5:15 p.m. I think I might be doing more of like a Q&A segment right over on X. So I'll go on ahead and I'll just hit to X and I'll see if anybody has sort of any questions for me. And we could really like sort of unpack it. I'm going to try and do my best to make sure that each and every single stream is as entertaining as humanly possible, especially since it is the bye week, but don't sleep on my creativity. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Subscribe if you haven't had the opportunity of doing it so far. Like this video, and I will see you tomorrow. Deuces.